One man's journey to a faraway island with the goal to teach the primitive people ended with him finding out he was the one who would gain so many life lessons from those around him.
Local author Jim Herman joins us to discuss his new book, Rai Wan The Outsider. Jim, it's such a pleasure to have you on today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, I was looking at your book. It's just so lovely. I want to dive right in to Rai Wan The Outsider and what it's about.
It's about one of the most tumultuous time periods in American history, the Vietnam era. So much social chaos was going on during that time period. This young man, myself, was trying to sort out societal issues of that time period, and so I elected to go the Peace Corps route. Peace Corps Micronesia was a brand new program. I like the pioneering aspect of that. And so in the back of my mind, I was thinking, I will go out to these little islands with these primitive people, and I will teach them to come abreast of the 20th century. And I found out, lo and behold, that those people on these little tiny isolated dots of islands had so much more to teach me than I would ever be able to teach them. And in addition to that, I was so fortunate because I was offered at that point the most adventuresome, wonderful 2 years experiences involving a multitude of typhoons, shark issues, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of my story, I know.
Oh, no. So when you were saying that you weren't expecting to, I guess, that you would be the one learning so much, how did your reality and what you thought was going to happen, how did that differ so much?
Well, it was really interesting because I had a split minor in cultural anthropology from the U of A. So my thought was I would like to go to an outer island where the natives have, maintained their indigenous lifestyle. And little did I know that that meant if I was going to do that, I would have to go to an island that was a 1/4 mile wide, a 1/2 mile long, highest elevation was 12 feet above sea level. It was an isolated little tiny island at the end of the earth. I was awestruck when I was dropped off on that island for a 2-year commitment.
Wow.
Wow.
So Jim, tell us maybe some of your favorite memories from the time there.
They were wonderful memories. The foremost memory, of course, was I had the honor and privilege of traveling on outrigger sailing canoes with the world's foremost dead reckoning, that's point-to-point navigators, celestial navigators looking at the stars. And I can't tell you what a thrill that was being in the open Pacific with these master mariners. Another thing that sticks out in my mind was we got a report from Radio Guam. Typhoon Gilda is coming toward your island, 110 mile an hour winds at the eye of the the typhoon. What do we do? I said to the islanders. He said, Foluba, James. They call me James. Foluba, what do we do? Come on. We went to the middle of the island. There was a big vat of Foluba. It was a highly intoxicating fermented coconut toddy. So I said to the islanders, what's going on here? They said, James, we have no control over the forces of nature. If we're all going to die, we're going to die with smiles on our faces.
Oh, my goodness.
So by the time the typhoon arrived, we were dancing on the beach, hurling insults at the typhoon, laughing. And I guess Foluba magic worked because I wouldn't be sitting here talking to the two of you today if it hadn't. There was another instance where I almost became lunch for about an 8-foot tiger shark. We were corralling a huge school of bonita tuna in our lagoon, and we'd encircle them with palm fronds tied to a rope, and I guess the shark saw my white dangling legs, and if it hadn't been for one of the islanders coming in a big dugout canoe, putting his arm out and pulling me up out of the water, again, I wouldn't be here.
And are these instances and the impact that you had, is that why you decided to put it into a book?
Yes, they are. They are. And to get into that point, I taught for 40 years, and I taught in Micronesia, I taught in Heidelberg, I taught right here in Tucson, Amphitheater High School, which I love doing. In the last 12 years, I taught at a private school on the North Shore of Boston. Wherever I went, parents and students seemed to be mesmerized by Tales of Micronesia, by Kodachrome slides I would show on the drawings that I made. And the attractant was really thinking in terms of these people living on this minuscule, tiny little island leading rich, creative, artistic, adventure-filled lives on a relative speck of nothingness in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Every morning on that island, I would wake up and say, my God, what a tribute to the human species. These people can do what they're doing, and as a member of this human species, we could all do this on this little geographical spit of nothingness.
And I'm sure that the lessons are definitely timeless, and we're so excited to, like you said, everybody wants to hear these stories, so we're so glad that we get to read them in the book. Jim, thank you so much for stopping and sharing some of these with us.
It's absolutely my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Rai Wan The Outsider is currently available on Amazon and Apple iBooks, or go online to raiwan.com.